Flores, and today I'm going to talk about how to spot an INTJ in the wild. You know, last time I talked about INFJs, how you can spot them in the wild, and I got some response from people. I got some response from people about the dead eyes, you know, like a dead fish. And about the fact that I'm scared of INFJ's eyes. Yeah, I mean, come on, somebody even asked me, why are you scared of them, of the eyes? And I think to myself, well, fear in this case is not rational, so why are you asking me for an explanation? I cannot give you an explanation, it's irrational. Okay, but speaking of dead eyes, one of the ways to spot an INTJ is that they have indeed a death stare. And you may have heard the sound of my paper, and that's because my memory is not so good at the moment. So when I think about an INTJ, they're not very warm. So when you look into somebody's eyes, they can have like a really welcoming look, you know, kind of outlook stare to them. And it's, you know, it's inviting. You know, I can look into sometimes if an INFP likes you, they will give you a look that's inviting. And it feels really good. It feels so good. But I have to say that the INTJ, nah, you're not gonna get that from an INTJ. Because the look of an INTJ is very, you know, I wanted to compare it to the death stare of the INFJ, but actually the INTJ's death stare is so icy cold. It's like you're staring into a black hole that is just, oh, it's just like you're in space, you're in ether, you don't know where you are. It's cold, you're alone, it's lonely, and nobody's coming for you. That's how it feels like to stare into an INTJ's eyes. Yeah, so number one, I'm going to try to number these points because why not? Number one, how to spot an INTJ. They also have dead eyes, but their eyes are more like you're staring into a black hole. There is no warmth, there is no comfort, there's nothing in those eyes. It's really nothing. But the funny thing is that INTJs often have very beautiful eyes. They often do for some reason. The females, I don't look at the males. I don't care about them. But the females, they have the females, yeah, like they're some kind of species. No, but the women, they have very beautiful eyes, oftentimes. So I look into these eyes and I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful eyes. But then, like, a loneliness hits me, like, oh, like my soul is being stripped. It's even worse than the INFJ's eyes. So it's like, yeah, it has its benefits. You know, they can have really nice and sexy eyes, but they're a bit cold, like ice queen cold. Number one, the eyes. Number two, they know a lot. INTJs are masterminds. By the way, if I'm looking away at the camera, it's not because I'm shy, it's because the light that is lighting me is burning my retina right now, so I'm gonna have a retinal transplant after this video, but that's the reason. Anyway, INTJs, they are total masterminds. They're so intelligent. They're so smart. They're too smart for their own good. But, and there is a but, they know a lot. They do. But they know a lot about one subject. Okay? One subject. And I had this friend, I'm not talking to her anymore because the frustration got too tense. I got too much frustration with her. But she knows a lot about one subject. And that's not the subject we're usually talking about because that involves her career. And, pardon me, and in all other cases, she is, it's like she has the development of a 12-year-old when it comes to all other subjects. Well, what is her main subject? It's actually in finances, and she's very good with numbers. She's all good, very good with statistics, blah, blah, blah. She's not good at anything else. And you would say, well, why would you care? Well, if you hang out with an INTJ and they make comments, the thing about INTJs is they act like they know everything. So you have to keep in mind that this person is going to pretend like they know everything, but they actually know everything about one subject and not anything else, which annoys me. So, number 2, how do you spot an INTJ? They know a lot about one subject only. So, don't expect too much from them and don't ask them all kinds of questions, only on their area of expertise. Number 3, okay, I have to say something positive about INTJs because I don't have anything against INTJs like I have against INFJs. No, I don't have anything against INTJs. But a positive thing about INTJs is their sense of style. They actually have a very high-class sense of style. And yeah, and I think to myself, why is it high class? Probably because they can afford it. Let's be honest, INTJs are usually loaded, okay? They have a good job, they work their ass off for their money. And yeah, they can afford luxury goods and they love luxury goods. Of course, when you look at their functional stack, it's NITEFISE, so they have SE. I don't know if you're even thinking in functions, but SE is extroverted sensing. They have that in the last slot. It's their inferior function. In other words, they have like a love-hate relationship with it. They might not see what is in front of them, but they are fascinated with everything that looks good. So, when they have a little money, they like to splurge and go kind of overboard with their inferior function and buy some luxury goods. And I have checked out the INTJ style and it's really refined. When you compare it to the INFJ style, I would say the INFJ style is a little more, the INFJ style is elegant, but kind of romantic. The INTJ style is also very elegant, but more kind of businessy, something like that. It's very refined, but it's not as romantic as the INFJ style. And it's often consists more of luxury brands, let's be honest. That's number 3. Number 4, they usually don't give a shit about you. They don't. Don't get it twisted. They don't. Yeah. You know what? You know what it is with the INTJ? Their feeling function is in the 3rd slot. And it's introverted feeling, which means that their feeling, they only spend it on certain people, a select few people. And because with them it's in the third slot, they have even fewer people that they actually like and appreciate. And guess what? Unless you're one of these few people, they can be friends with you, they can hang out with you, they can party with you, they can drink with you. They usually like drinking. And some INTJs, I do not condone this, but they, even the high class ones, they do drugs with you. Don't do drugs, kids, don't do it. But they do not consider you as their real inner circle. So they may know a lot of people, or actually they know people because people for some reason are just usually drawn to them. But yeah, they know a lot of people, but they don't necessarily care about these people. And they don't also usually don't care about you. They're kind of cold. Let me see what I have written down. So when you are one of the people that are, because they have TE, that is extroverted thinking, they have that in their second spot. So in the functional stack. So they know where they are going in life, and if you are in their way, they will dump you without batting an eyelash. They do not give a shit. They will dump you at the drop of a hat. Is that the right expression? And they will not look back, and they will have no regrets, and their conscience, well, little secret, they don't have much of a conscience. Yes, people, my videotape got broken off because my memory card was full. I was probably saying, and yes, I am recording, that INTJs, they don't have much of a conscience. But I'm thinking to myself, why is this? Yeah, the reason I think it's their secondary TE. They just know where they want to go, and if it makes sense to them, they will just push you aside, and they will drop the friendship. They will stop talking to you, and if you're not one of their inner people, and you will never see them again, and that's it. Number 6. Well, yeah. So their FI, it's in the third spot. And it's FI, which means they're people with FI instead of FE, which is extroverted feeling. People with introverted feeling, they do not really show their emotions. They feel it inside, and they have a whole emotional world going on inside, but they do not show it, and they usually don't feel the need to share it. So with the FI of an INTJ in the third spot, wow, these people are going to seem very emotionless, kind of like robots. Yeah, when I see, of course, after my memory card was full, my battery had to be empty. So here I am again. I was talking about the fact that INTJs, they often seem emotionless because of their FI. Their FI is in the third spot. And FI people, even FI dominants, they don't show their emotions. But for INTJs, they don't show their emotions at all. Well, there is one exception. And that is when they totally flip out. Okay, and I have seen this, I've witnessed this, I am lightly traumatized by this, to be honest. Whew. Well, yeah, I've seen an INTJ go off on me, by the way, minor detail. But Yeah, no, when they go off, they become totally psychotic. There's one more thing I would like to mention about INTJs, and that is, their FI is in the third slot, and just like they are very particular with the kind of people they like, and they have very few people that they like, they also have very particular tastes in style. For example, their clothing, their hair. So they have a very particular style. I believe before I said, yeah, their style is probably kind of businessy. It may be a bit businessy, but I've also seen INTJ with their very unique kind of style, which is usually nice to see, to witness. Okay, but now I'm going to close off. I'm going to close off with an example of how I spot INTJs in a group setting. Yeah, how I spot them in a group setting is usually they may be a bit quiet. They don't have to be. They're not necessarily shy, but they're quiet a lot. They're quick-witted. They're very quick-witted. So when they talk to somebody else, or when they talk to you, they have a response ready. And even if the response is bullshit, they still got a response just like that. They're very snappy with the responses, and you can tell by the things they say that they're quite intelligent. I have to think about a guy that I saw in my improv group. I know like 100% that he's INTJ. And he was actually from another group who was just practicing with us just 1 or 2 times. And he was quite funny actually. The jokes he came up with were quite extensive. Not the jokes, but the thing he improvised. You could see that he was quite smart. But still, as I told you, the eyes were dead. But he was intelligent. But he was also, when he was not performing or he's not, doing improv stuff, he was quite quiet and to himself, and he's not very social. And even after the class, when everybody just went for drinks, he just turned around and just said like, till next week, and he was out. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he can do that if he wants to, but it was like a bit weird. And what I've heard is that he was usually not attending other social events from the group, which is fine. I could not check his bank account, but I predict that he has a bright financial future ahead of him. He's probably like a developer or something like that. Yeah, so that's how I spot INTJs. But with him, I could not see the refined style. The refined style I could see with a former friend of mine who flipped out on me. She always, she didn't always look her best. I'm gonna be very real with you. But when she did try, she did look quite refined, and she had particular taste, and it was all quite sophisticated. I wanted to say high class, but no, but you know why I don't want to say that? It's because in this case, her tastes were so particular that you had no idea if the item she wore was $2 or $2,000. You couldn't tell. It was probably a mix of those two. So yeah, that is how you spot an INTJ. But if you like this video, give me a comment, give me a like, give me a subscribe at least. Hey? And let me know what you think about the video. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I read all the comments. I usually do. Sometimes I forget to respond. But I usually read all the comments and I really appreciate them. So let me know and I will see you in the next video.